TNO. A stalemate lies ahead for the country as the March 2024 boundary delimitation deadline draws closer. The Kenyan constitution sets the boundary review process to be done latest by March this year. Yet, with lack of commissioners at the polls and boundary review body, chances of the exercise happening are nil. Our senior political affairs reporter, Ibrahim Karanja, reports on some of the options the government is contemplating. Yet, these very options face significant hurdles.
With the last boundary review in the country having been conducted in March of 2012, spearheaded by the defunct Andrew Ligale-led Interim Independent Boundaries Review Commission of Kenya, or IEBC, Kenya was well on course towards the next review, which the Constitution envisioned would happen latest by March of 2024. Article 89 of the Kenyan Constitution on the limitation of electoral units provides that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall review the names and boundaries of constituencies at intervals of not less than 8 years and not more than 12 years, but any review shall be completed at least 12 months before a general election of members of parliament. However, in a situation not foreseen by the framers of the 2010 Constitution, the country lacks commissioners in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, technically making the boundary review process by March 2024 humanly impossible, and thus a risk of running foul of the Constitution.
Why is there a delay in recruiting the commissioners to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission? The reason is simple: because of political manipulation, because of political conmanship that's being perpetuated by the two so-called principles of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio.
It should be remembered that the country was well on course of refilling the vacant post of IEBC commissioners, as the IEBC selection panel had by March 2023 received 169 applications for the positions of chairperson and 6 commissioners and was scheduled to start interviews. But the issue of reconstitution of the IEBC being a bone of contention among warring Kenya Kwanza and Azimio factions of the political divide, the selection panel had to halt its activities to pave way for the bipartisan team and later the National Dialogue Committee to discuss the issue. A move that is certainly going to cost the country. That is to mean, were it not for the delay caused by the dialogue, a commission may have been in place by now to guarantee a timely boundary review exercise.
We're actually personalizing our constitution. I look at Ibrahim and say, okay, how do we assuage the ego of Ibrahim so that he doesn't disturb us? So we talk about creation of the constitution. But it is far from the priorities of our country. It's far from the priorities of our people.
The leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, now laying bare the government's options.
However quickly we re-establish the panel to recruit the commissioners, we cannot have commissioners in place, especially on the question of boundaries review before the lapse of the deadline. Therefore, is one of the issues that we are exploring the possibility of either amending sections of the Constitution to allow Parliament to extend that particular deadline, or having the Office of the Attorney General seek an advisory opinion from the Supreme Court, because we have a unique situation that has never been before.
Yet Ichung'wah's proposal may still hit a snag in that a move to amend Article 89 of the Constitution may be interpreted to mean interfering with functions of an independent commission, which is protected by Article 255 of the Constitution as one that must only be amended through a referendum. Another crisis here is there needs to be commissioners of the IEBC in office to conduct that very referendum. The confusion is furthered by the question of the fate of 27 endangered constituencies which do not meet the population threshold but were protected in the 2012 review.
I can't say we have a political crisis or even a constitutional crisis. As a matter of fact, it's the government of the day that is actually undermining the Constitution. They don't even live by the spirit of the Constitution. Now they are going to mutilate even the letter of the Constitution.
While the boundary review is an approaching stalemate, the country has already committed an injustice against a section of the population who remain unrepresented in Parliament and in county assemblies, with their representatives having died. Yet there is no commission to undertake by-elections way beyond the constitutionally set timelines. So which way Kenya? Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.